Yeah, it's been a process, and you know, we had to take everything one step at a time, and when we got good at, you know, being good at the line of scrimmage, once we got past that, we got better at playing the ball in the air, and next step is for this week. So it's just a process, and me being a former cornerback, I understand that process, and I had the patience for it, and all I need is kids that listen to me, and they've been doing a great job of that.
Did you feel like they kind of came in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because there was so much talk about how great the front was, and they were like, you know what, we're pretty good back here too. We're just young. We just got to prove ourselves. Did you see a little bit of that?
Yeah, of course. We had that question mark, I call it. You know, I put a big question mark on there in camp on the board, and every day they saw that question mark, and I said, we're the question mark. Coach Bonda, he said the same thing to the safety. So we just had a couple guys that were newer to the system, a couple of young guys, like you said, and like I said, the process have come together. And the best thing I can say about the corners is they play together and they play for each other. And I think that's the most important ingredient for a championship type of team, when it's not about me and it's about the team. And we've transitioned to that type of back end where we're all about each other having success.
Hey Mike, Trajan and Malik aren't the biggest guys physically. How does that come into play, and how do they compensate, or do they need to?
Yeah, they both do a tremendous job, and they have great feet. You know, that's the number one part, and they have great ball skills too as well. Both of those guys could probably play on offense because they can jump, and they have tremendous ball skills. So, you know, when I'm looking at players, I love size, but guys that just naturally play the game and it comes to them naturally, that's Trajan and Malik.
With Malik in particular, the numbers are very good about, you know, when he's targeted, things like that. What's your reaction, or how has he played for you guys this season?
He's a fearless competitor, and that's the number one thing I tell the guys to compete when you're not worried about getting beat. And even if you do get beat, you just come back and compete. So he has that in him. He has tremendous ball skills, like I said. But the main thing is Malik plays very confident. You know, he kind of feels like he's one of the top corners when he gets out there. And that's what we instill in him every single week, just understanding that you're going to go against the best guy and you're going to take him man to man, and I want you to take him out of the game. And when you put the role in front of them early in the week and they understand that role, he does a good job of filling into it and just playing hard.
Why do you think he can handle that role? Why do you feel comfortable?
Just a couple intangibles, great feet. The number one thing I wanted to see from him was tackling last year, and he showed us that he could tackle. And once I know that he's a punt returner and he has ball skills, that if he does get an interception, it's a good chance he could go back. That makes me feel confident. So now I'm not out there thinking, is Malik going to knock the ball out? I want Malik to pick the ball off. So that's the confidence that we have in him, and his skill set is what makes him that person.
Mike was, I'm sorry, the thing we kept hearing January, February, March about Javonte being his best junior college cornerback, so there was some anticipation that he would come in here and play a lot. Was there any struggle as far as an adjustment from JC ball, and what improvements have you seen recently from him?
I think the number one thing was he didn't get to go through spring with us, and he just went straight to fall camp, and it took him a little time to transition to the defense. Like a guy like Adrian Colbert that came here from safety and never played corner, it's easy for me to teach him because he hasn't learned anything. Dean had been learned and taught something differently. So I had to get him to forget that and work into what we're doing here. So that was the transition process for him, but he's a diamond. You know, he's a guy that he's 6'2", has tremendously long arms like myself. He's probably the second or third fastest on the team behind Lamont Richards. So he's a guy where I can't wait for him to be who he can be. And he's been that guy last week where he got about 20-something snaps. And now he's transitioning, getting into the main role of playing a lot more corner for us.
How much growth have you seen from Trajan?
A tremendous amount. You know, Trajan just wants to play the game. You know, he just reminds me of those throwback players like Sean Taylor and all those guys who they just want to play ball. No matter where they're at, he'll stop everything to go play football. So he has that in him, but I had to transition him into playing within the defense. And what I mean by that is, if you got to go to the right, you got to go to the right because the defense says go to the right. You can't go to the left because you see the ball going to the left. This is not a school where you got to do everybody else's job. You do your job to the best of ability, and all other 10 do the same thing.
You know, you're talking about Malik being really confident, and he's told us multiple times, including today, that he gets physically sick during the game, and then he's okay. I've seen that before with, believe it or not, Donovan McNabb. And
yeah.
Have you seen that before? You saw it.
So quick story. Malik is a kid who, by the way, is humble. His nickname is Humble Child. He's very humble. But as a corner, you got to mentally feel like you're that guy. So he does. But he vomits before every game.
Right.
And I think Coach Banda, Notre Dame last year, he's going on the field, he threw up on Coach Banda's shoe. And last game, they say Malik just vomited, and he'll do it and he'll be like, don't worry about it, it's just what I do. But Dan Morgan was the same way. So pregame, Dan would always be in the stall, and you hear somebody, and you're like, okay, that's Dan. So certain people, that's just how they get rid of their anxiety. They let it up physically from their stomach.
Thank you, Coach.